Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we present you 50 beautiful retro historical photos. We hope you will appreciate our work. Write your comment and click the subscribe button. Enjoy the show, and here we go. Possible Madonna as Marilyn Monroe, 1985. Judy Landers, American film and television actress, 1979. This is my colorized version of Woman and Her Dog in the Harlem Section, snapped in 1943 by Gordon Parks. (1939) General Motors exhibit, Golden Gate International Exposition, San Francisco. Girls in Oldsmobile convertible coupe. Anyone need a lift? (1902) Tithing Department, National Cash Register Company, Dayton, Ohio. New York circa 1948. Rupert beer display in grocery window. It's light. It's delicious. It's slow aged. Boston, 1903. London Honourables entering Trinity Church, Copley Square. November 1939. Negro woman carrying laundry home along highway between Durham and Mebane, North Carolina. June 11, 1940. General Motors exhibit at Golden Gate International Exposition, San Francisco. Transparent car with Pontiac chassis and body by Fisher. November 1st, 1952. This view of Chicago's downtown shows the low-lying smog which blanketed the area one recent morning. In the foreground is the well-known Wrigley Building. December 1909. Some of Newark's small newspapers. Afternoon. Circa 1930. Vice President Curtis at Capitol with steam car, which, as evidenced by the news item below, encountered a bit of trouble during its stop in Washington. South Carolina circa 1906. Old Charleston. Church Street just below Trad Street showing Colonel Robert Bruton's house number 71 Church Street at left with Piazza. June 11, 1940. General Motors exhibit at Golden Gate International Exposition, San Francisco. Transparent car with Pontiac chassis and body by Fisher. October 3, 1938. Meeting of Pontiac salesmen at Fairmont Hotel, San Francisco, representing all the many tribes of the great Pontiac Nation. (1907), Northampton, Massachusetts Draper Hotel, where the amenities include an American Express office and Boyden's dining parlor. San Francisco, 1923. Stood sedan in Golden Gate Park, ready to motor forth into the Jazz Age. New York circa 1947. Hudson Showroom, Broadway at West 62nd Street. San Francisco, 1935. Oldsmobile Coupe and Golden Gate Bridge under construction. Only 2 more years and this lady will be able to cross. This Kodachrome with the date stamp OCT 65A. Baby boomers will no doubt recognize the redwood picnic table and webbed lawn chairs as ubiquitous fixtures of their youth. Oh, and an Oldsmobile, too. New York circa 1948. Homemaker stirring double boiler on gas range. San Francisco, 1940. Oldsmobile sedan and pedestrians ascending steep grade, with the Palace of Fine Arts and Golden Gate Bridge in the distance. September 1942. Canfield, Ohio. Mrs. Harry Mercer, a young neighbor and grandchild, husking and removing silk from the corn. The corn will be dried and stored for later use. New York circa 1948. Woman in kitchen with General Electric refrigerator. Yes, this dish should warm up nicely. Circa 1930. No caption. President Hoover with boys and girls at White House. Who can help us fill in the blanks? Our garden party is on Bontecu Road at Lilburn Drive in Stony Point, New York 1970. New York circa 1948. C. Rose Distributing Company truck. Just and out of the rain, with a backdrop of Peels, Fitzgerald's, and maybe Rose himself. (1952) Stephen on Seaside at Spring Mill State Park. Linda Lusardi, English actress, television presenter and former glamour model, 1979. Washington, D.C., 1924. No caption, football team at stadium, is all it says here. Who can help fill in the blanks? San Francisco, 1920. Franklin touring car at Golden Gate Park Conservatory. New York circa 1908. 23rd Street east from 6th Avenue. New York City, December 1947. Hudson Dealers and the new Hudson. A striking design that sold like hotcakes when it was introduced to car-starved post-war America. January 1943. Clinton, Iowa. Residents of Miss Lucille Disher's rooming house for rail workers. Rear brakeman Clarence Averill and James Lynch, engineer on the Pacific Limited, who has 4 sons in the Navy, Marine Corps, Army Air Corps, and Army. New York circa 1948. The new Hudson. From a design standpoint, the venerable carmaker's last hurrah. New York circa 1947. Midtown Dealers Corporation and Hudson Showroom, Broadway at West 62nd Street. October 1942. Hardwick, Vermont. Mrs. Alice White at the Victory Store vegetable counter selling donated farm produce, money from which will go to the War Fund. San Francisco, 1939. General Motors exhibit, Golden Gate International Exposition. Girls sitting on LaSalle Auto. January 1943. Chicago, Illinois. Waiting for trains in the concourse of the Union Station. Jacqueline Bouvier and John F. Kennedy at their wedding, September 12, 1953, Newport, Rhode Island. Circa 1906. New Exchange Hotel, Montgomery, Alabama. San Francisco, 1927. Traffic signals police officer stops pedestrian crossing against a light on Arguello Boulevard. New York circa 1948. Patterson Beer Distributors Peel's Beer Truck. It's delicious, delightful, demand it. Washington Dramatic Club about Thebes. nominally Egyptian-themed charity benefit staged at the Belasco Theater in April 1909 for an audience including President Taft. San Francisco, 1927. Traffic signals police officer stops pedestrian crossing against the light in front of Hudson sedan at B Garage service station. New York circa 1947. National Peanut Corporation store on Broadway, Mr. Peanut sign and Embassy Newsreel Theater. San Francisco circa 1925. Swimsuit girls camping in dealer window with Willis Knight Auto. New York, 1913. Quality Shop and Hudson Theater. October 1939. One of 36 members of the Ola Self-Help Sawmill Cooperative. Sawmill started with an FSA loan. Gem County, Idaho. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Donna Evan, former British glamour model and actress, 1989. Best known for her work with Playboy magazine. Photo 1989. Donna Ewan, former English glamour model and actress. Photo shoot 1989. January 1938. Washington, D.C. Cafe on L Street, where the only thing flakier than our delicious biscuits is the peeling paint. Circa 1900. Colonial Hotel, Cleveland, home to the Colonial Arcade. San Francisco circa 1919. Haynes touring car, accessorized with a dapper California top. June 1942. Shasta Dam, Shasta County, California. Workman on porch of commissary. August 1941. Dude from Quarter Circle U Ranch on a picnic on Lyman Brewster's lease, near Lame Deer, Montana. San Francisco, 1925. California State Automobile Association. Setting sign for Golden Gate Park Conservatory. Detroit circa 1906. Ice fountain on Washington Boulevard. Yet another perspective on this monument to hard water. This is my colorized version of this Shorpy original. I used a number of sources within the vintage magazine collecting community online to find color images of all of the covers included. All covers are colored accurately with the exception of Super Sports, which I could not find. September 1941. Frank E. Hagemeister, treasurer of the Cooperative Association on Scottsbluff Farmsteads, Farm Security Administration Project. He has been here since 1937. August 15, 1936. Sterling Trucks in San Francisco. With a chain drive that looks like something off a giant bicycle. June 3, 1936. J. Herzog Pontiac, 17th Valencia SDS, San Francisco. July 1942. U.S. Naval Academy, Annapolis. Midshipmen resting on the lawn. April 1943. New York, New York. Seen in Harlem area. San Francisco, California, 1920. Milani Ario's Speed Wagon Delivery Truck, also known as the Flying Artichoke. Circa 1905. Petoskey, Michigan Lake Street. Rolling out the Welcome Arch. (1942). Effect of gasoline shortage in Washington, D.C. June 1944. New York. School Victory Garden on 1st Avenue between 35th 36th Streets. Cats at Eldon's, March 16, 1952. The latest installment of Minnesota Kodachrome stars two frosty felines. La Salle Model 328 Roadster, Golden Gate Park, San Francisco, 1929. Virginia PI Cadet Band. Circa 1920, the men of Virginia Polytechnic Institute in Blacksburg. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, circa 1909. Congress Street near Market Square, with at least 2 painless dentists and optician Hatter. Washington, D.C., circa 1910. Theta Pi Girls. May 1942. Southington, Connecticut. School children staging a patriotic demonstration. Flint Auto in San Francisco, 1924. With the Ghirardelli Square Clock Tower keeping time for whatever conversation is taking place between the front seat and the back. New York, 1951. Street scene, Corn Exchange Bank. Sharing the spotlight with 2 sanitation department trucks. Larkspur, California, January 7, 1953. A photo of me I didn't know existed until a few days ago. I'm the second cowboy hat from the left at my best friend's 6th birthday party. Linda Carter is an American actress and singer who represented the United States in the 1972 Miss World pageant. Charming photo from 1973. Washington, D.C., circa 1913. Boy Scouts Postal Savings. Scouts depositing. San Francisco's Golden Gate Park circa 1939. Woman demonstrating use of luggage compartment lock on Pontiac sedan. Los Angeles, 1948. Actor Lex Barker and his family wife Constance Rhodes Thurlow, son Alexander Critchlow Barker III, and daughter Lynn Thurlow Barker with their dog and cat. Washington, D.C., circa 1925. Protesters is all it says on the caption card for this national photo glass negative showing what seems to be a meeting of the Communist Party Young Communist League. Washington, D.C., circa 1923. Unidentified ramp on field is all it says here. Who can help us categorize this cryptic contraption? Los Angeles, 1968. Actor Leonard Nimoy working on the set of the television show Star Trek. May 1943. New York. A tenement house in Harlem. Note the sign advising of cover. Loren at Folks, January 20th, 1952. The latest episode of Minnesota Kodachrome stars Hubert's young nephew. Los Angeles, 1948. Shower ends Lex's non-acting day that includes lifting weights, punching bag, and many other exercises. Northern California, circa 1920. Touring car at Yosemite National Park. May 1942. Southington, Connecticut. Boys collecting paper and metal for scrap drive. Multnomah Falls, Oregon, circa 1918. Kissel Military Highway Scout car. May 1942. Southington, Connecticut. An American town and its way of life. Southington girls, members of the Youth Drum Corps. October 1943. Washington, D.C. Sally D. says, a student at Woodrow Wilson High School, playing a tennis match. San Francisco, circa 1920. Nash motor truck on waterfront. September 1942. Gloucester, Massachusetts. A young boy, probably a fisherman of tomorrow, because many of the boys will follow their fathers as fishermen in the New England waters. Circa 1905. Ramsey County Courthouse, St. Paul, Minnesota. Los Angeles, 1948. Lex Barker regularly suns himself by the swimming pool of friends' home to acquire, keep legendary Tarzan tan. Dort Car in San Francisco. An automotive brand that was not long for this world in 1923. San Francisco, 1926. Diana ate at Civic Center. The short-lived Diana, a car for the ladies. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Dolores Wells, American model and actress. Playboy magazine's Girl of the Month for June 1960. Photos shoot 1960. 1969. Raquel Welch is an American actress and sex symbol. Bikini-clad beauty posing in 1970. Tacoma Park, Maryland, circa 1895. Another look at Willard and Helen Douglas and their 90-degree tree. August 1976. Another forgotten photo from that forgotten road trip to Southern California I took with my friend, who also forgot about this Kodachrome slide he took but didn't forget about the road trip. Taken by my dad in Las Vegas, June 1964. 35mm Kodachrome. Washington, D.C., January or February 1930, and no caption. San Francisco, 1919. Federal truck Bruner's van, delivering the goods for a furniture retailer that got its start in the California Gold Rush, declared bankruptcy in 2004 and reconstituted itself as an online business. November 14, 1925. Washington, D.C. Auction of bananas for Red Cross. The baby is Josephine Scalco, whose father, Salvatore Scalco of the National Fruit Company, is standing at left. October 1942. High School Victory Corps. Learning the rudiments of advancing on an enemy will prove valuable to these boys if they are called to join their older brothers in the armed forces. Chicago, 1949. Theater, traffic on State Street. My best friend and his sister with a 1953 Pontiac on a late afternoon in front of their home in Larkspur, California. San Francisco circa 1920. Grand Touring Car. Latest specimen in the beautiful historical bestiary of bygone buggies. May 1942. Denver, Colorado. Interior of a shipbuilding plant, showing workmen who previously assembled incubator parts and amusement park devices, now working on hulls and decks of escort vessels. October 1942. War production drive. Anthracite rallies. Servicemen working together. Soldiers, sailors, and Marines went into Pennsylvania mines during the anthracite rallies. June 23, 1936. General Motors Truck Mixed Concrete, Horan Fuel Feed Company, San Francisco. Circa 1900. The Hollenden, Cleveland, a giant hostelry that opened in 1885 and was demolished in 1962. November 1918. Washington, D.C. Bowling Field Handley Page on Polo Grounds. Montgomery County, Maryland, circa 1917. Ford car in front of Dawsonville Country Store, probably H.E. French's. Young Willard Douglas at home in Tacoma Park, Maryland, circa 1895. Some may find it fitting that this photo of me was taken at the San Francisco Zoo. I remember having striped pants in the 70s, but this total ensemble comes as a surprise, since I'd never seen this photo until a few days ago. The Douglas family home in Tacoma Park, Maryland, circa 1895. San Francisco, 1920. Haynes touring car leaving garage. Riding on Gruis Air Springs. August 1959. Vermont Country Store, Weston Common, Windsor County, Vermont. Building dates to 1828. Typical early country store still serving its original function. Main Street, USA in Disneyland, that is, where my friend has captured me on Kodachrome with bell-bottoms billowing and armed with Super 8 camera. Port Huron, Michigan, circa 1908. Steamers at pier. At right, the sidewheeless city of Alpena. New Hampshire, circa 1906. Base Station, Mount Washington Railway, White Mountains. Continuing our visit to Tacoma Park, Maryland, circa 1895, we find Helen and Willard Douglas taking their ease Snoopy style. Our third visit with the Douglas family in Tacoma Park, Maryland, Sylpha Minnie Childs Douglas, 1859 to 1960, and her children. Lily St. Cyr was an American stripper, vedette, burlesque performer, photo model, and film actress. Photo shoot 1939. Helen Douglas and her brother Willard are the subjects in the first of 8 glass plates. Snapped these photos of his kids around 1895 at their home in the Washington suburb of Tacoma Park, Maryland. August 1941. Main Street, Sheridan, Wyoming. An oasis of western watering holes. That's me. Tiburon is a Marin County town on San Francisco Bay, and Tiburon Tommy's was a Chinese restaurant with a decor and cocktail selection that today would be called tiki. 1969. Circa 1908. Elks Temple, Eureka Club, Clinton Avenue North, Rochester, New York. California circa 1919. Marmon touring car at Yosemite. City Point, Virginia. Federal headquarters during the Siege of Petersburg, 1864-65. Unloading vessels at landing. Circa 1901. The Lewisburg Bar Harbor, Mount Desert Island, Maine. The San Francisco Bay Area circa 1919. Nash 1-ton tank truck. Circa 1935. Schaefer Fountain Pen Factory, Fort Madison, Iowa. Final act of the pen manufacture. November 18, 1920. Newsboy holding the Washington Times, whose banner headline, "Dynamite Kills 2 Babes Asleep in Crib," summarizes a lurid crime that literally rocked Montgomery County, Maryland. November 1940. Jewish stores in Colchester, Connecticut. R. Goldman, grocer, and S. Kalmanwitz, fishmonger. (1912) City Hall and Market Street, west from 11th, Philadelphia. The High Sierra circa 1919. Cadillac touring car at Yosemite in snow, with the Sentinel Hotel in the background. New York circa 1912. Grand Union Hotel, 42nd Street and Park Avenue. May 1920. Sailor Tony Pizzo passing through Washington on a coast-to-coast bicycle run handcuffed to his machine. The handcuffs were sealed by Mayor Hylan in New York April 24th and are not to be opened until his return to that city. Pizzo made a California to New York trip in like manner in 1919. November 1909. Night scene in Cumberland Glass Works, Bridgeton, New Jersey. (1909) Union Station, Portland, Maine. Demolished August 31st, 1961. Fairfax County, Virginia, circa 1910. Vienna, PO. Our title comes from the name of the delivery wagon. The Bay Area in 1923. Plate 7. Jewett touring car on Mountain Road. March 1943. Dailies, New Mexico. Conductor C.W. Tevis picking up a message from a woman operator on the Atchison, Topeka Santa Fe between Belen and Gallup. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Gail McKenna, English, former glamour model, former stage and television actress. Pool photo shoot 1979. Pretty Gaynor Goodman in her youth, 1980s. Stunning Sybil Dunning, Austrian actress, film director, screenwriter and film producer, 1969. Georgia circa 1956, and some junior league types at a country clubby-looking bar with an unusual picture-in-picture mural. The tumblers say, Auburn. Marin County, California, circa 1925. Surf bathers at Stinson Beach. As for what's going on in the background, who can say? February 1965. My little brother with me and Mr. Machine, in a Kodachrome taken by Dad a few days after my birthday in La Habra, California. Not only is this slide still in good shape, so is Mr. Machine, and my brother too. Autumn 1964. Football fans at Leonia High School in Leonia, New Jersey. circa 1955 in Columbus, Georgia. Switchboard is all it says here. Smile so they can hear it. Circa 1955 in Columbus, Georgia. Switchboard is all it says here. Smile so they can hear it. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1953. The Wit Store. Your headquarters for notions, sundries, gewgaws and baubles. San Francisco, 1921. Sonora Fire Department, Tuolumne County. REO truck at Engine Company No. 15 Firehouse, California Street. Oakland, California, circa 1957. Wrecked taxi at school crossing. Note the crossing guard at right. Featured players in this curbside drama include a 1957 Chevy, Plymouth taxicab and 1953 Buick, supported by a trio of 1955 and 56 Ford police cars. Circa 1904. Surf bathing at Easton's Beach, Newport, Rhode Island. Oakland, California, circa 1957. Late final. Circa 1927. Chrysler Roadster at San Francisco Public Library with racing drivers. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1958. Highway detour. Note the Greyhound bus terminal that looks like someone's screen porch. Also, a big microwave relay tower. Continuing our circa 1958 visit to Columbus, Georgia, Entertainment Committee is all it says here. See y'all at the mixer. From circa 1920 comes this uncaptioned view of an early motorhome taking on water at the Federal Truck Agency in San Francisco. May 1942. Southington, Connecticut. A street scene. New York circa 1905. Dreamland Park shooting the Chutes, Coney Island. From Columbus, Georgia, comes this circa 1953 image of what seems to be a Christmas party at a laundry. Be of good cheer, and a happy Yuletide to all. May 1942. Southington, Connecticut. Thomas J. Murphy, chief of the fire department, and its only salaried member, chatting with one of the volunteers. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1955. Helen Smothers is all it says here. The world of Helen is tidy, organized, and monogrammed. San Francisco, 1918. Buick at Japanese Tea Garden, Golden Gate Park. Dominatrix footwear on the left. My sister and me, riding away on rental bikes on California's Catalina Island in June 1965. Kodachrome slide by Dad. Plymouth vs. Ford on the streets of Oakland circa 1957, with a battered bystander in the distance. New York circa 1905. Harlem River Speedway and Washington Bridge viewed from High Bridge. Oakland circa 1959. Crash at London Lodge. Somewhat to the west of Buckingham Palace and the Houses of Parliament. Who can identify the diminutive foreigner? Columbus, Georgia, circa 1962. Youth Club Boys. This has all the earmarks of a church project. Extraordinary Dorian Dennis photo 1951. Jacksonville circa 1910. Bisbee Building on Bankers Row. The city's first skyscraper, still standing on Forsyth Street. Oakland, California, circa 1956. Ambulance at collision. The age-old rivalry of Ford versus Chevy. From an Ektachrome slide given to me many years ago by friends of my parents. Does anyone know where this is? The date imprint says, Deck 60. Another Oakland water hazard, circa 1958. Accident, San Pablo Avenue. Syracuse, New York, 1907. Vanderbilt House. With credit parlors, billiards, a bowling alley, and trunks just around the corner. Washington, D.C., circa 1937. Children's Hospital Rotary. The young man hooked up to a Cambridge Instrument Model X900 thingamabob. Chicago circa 1964. Marina City. The high-rise apartment towers on the Chicago River, and a compendium of balcony decorating ideas. Meanwhile, back in circa 1958 Oakland. Accident, 26th at Valdez. A sailor suddenly very much in his element exiting a Chevrolet with a flooded engine. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1956. Boys Club picnic. RC Cola outlier on the left, and he's armed. San Francisco, 1921. Sonora Fire Department, Tuolumne County. REO trucks at Engine Company No. 15 Firehouse, California Street. Louisville, Kentucky, 1969. O.J. Stivers Elementary on Westport Road, aka the Cardboard Penitentiary. I've got those great plaid pants on, front row, to the right of the school sign. I'm not pleased to be there. Chicago. January 25th, 57 Grimes Case Dash. Mrs. Minnie Durrose. And so after O.J. Stivers Elementary, it was off to Withers Elementary in Dallas. How about dem Cowboys? I'm dead center in the second row. Sadly, only 1 year here, then off to Cincinnati. The teenage sisters were missing for 25 days before their naked, frozen bodies were found the morning of January 22, 1957. Grimes case January 25, 57. Their murder remains unsolved to this day. San Francisco circa 1915. Sutro baths. Spectators view to small pools. As long as we are sharing school photos, this was my first grade class at James Buchanan Elementary in Levittown, Pennsylvania. The date is May 1961, but that is not our classroom. We were in room 5. Chicago circa 1958. American Cancer Society Circus Lion Tamer. Would you take a check? Castro Valley, California, circa 1958. Accident 7 Hills Road. 1 Sunburn 55 Ford Fairlane, saved. April 1942. Hollywood, California. Used car lot. All clues point to the street address being 1541. But what's the street? Philadelphia circa 1904. Broad Street. Masonic Temple and Arch Street Methodist Church, north from City Hall. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. The Enchanting Corinne Russell, 1985. Gaynor Goodman, stunning 20th century photo shoot. Sweet brown-haired Raquel Welch is an American actress and sex symbol of the 1970s. Photo 1973. New York circa 1905. High Bridge and the Speedway looking south. San Francisco circa 1921. Lexington Minuteman 6 dealer window, Van Ness Avenue. November 1940. Street scene on a rainy day in Norwich, Connecticut. August 1939. Medford, Oregon. Half-grown farm boy on main drugstore corner in town. San Francisco circa 1920. Three gents in a dusty touring car with Arkansas and Colorado tags, and Yellowstone National Park windshield pass. November 1940. Main Street intersection in Norwich, Connecticut, on a rainy day. January 1939. Reception room, office, script writer's room, small and large studios, and sound control room. These actors are members of the cast for My Dear Mr. President. October 2nd, 1960. Lower Station, Angels Flight, Third Hill Streets, Los Angeles. Last remaining cable railway in the city of Los Angeles. San Francisco, 1918. Buick at Japanese Tea Garden, Golden Gate Park. Circa 1904. Boston, Massachusetts. Back Bay from the State House Dome. May 1938. Store, La Forge, Missouri. Your source for Ben's baby bowel corrective. October 1938. Ice at Refreshment Stand, State Fair, Donaldsonville, Louisiana. June 1942. Tracy, California. Gasoline filling station. With a beauty parlor for major overhauls. Circa 1908. Ashman Street, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. June 1942. Tracy, California. Tank truck delivering gasoline to a filling station. January 1941. Playing outside trailer home in Sarasota, Florida, trailer park. San Francisco. Cadillac Coupe. May 1938. General Store and Railroad Crossing, Atlanta, Ohio. July 1941. 5 o'clock crowds, Chicago. Noir in the afternoon. Washington, D.C., circa 1925. Ashdown, Mrs. Raymond. June is just around the corner, down the stairs. Circa 1905. New York Central Railroad Station, Rochester. July 8, 1960. New York City views. Seagram Building Plaza, from 400 Park Avenue roof. May 26, 1925. General Pershing at Arlington National Cemetery. Standing watch. Mass for the Navy's wireless station, built in 1912 at Fort Myer. August 1939. Grants Pass, Oregon. California Day. A picnic in Town Park on the Rogue River. Hot summer afternoon. June 1942. Industrial safety. Accident prevention. The employee who carries in such a way as to obscure his vision is not saving time, he is endangering himself and his fellow workers. Summer 1938. Utopia Children's House, Harlem, New York. Stunning hottie Sarah Young in Mercedes. Photo 1989. Palm Beach, Florida, circa 1894. Hotel Royal Poinciana, Lake Worth. San Francisco, circa 1930. Grant Avenue at Sacramento Street. San Francisco, March 1940. Built as the largest and safest office building in San Francisco. I don't know what year my grandfather took this photo of the Pennsylvania Capitol building, but I'm guessing it was 1948 or 1949. April 1939. San Francisco, California, seen from the first street ramp of the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge. A farmer known to my family, but sadly, not to me, smiles at the photographer, presumably my grandfather, in this early 1950s shot from Honey Grove, Pennsylvania. San Francisco, 1940. Silas Palmer House, N.W. Corner, Van Ness and Washington. Essentially stick in style, with features of the villa and shingle eras. The rest of downtown Honey Grove, Pennsylvania, as seen from the vantage point of the gas pump at the front of my grandfather's store. Early 1950s. San Francisco, 1926. Rickenbacker in Woods. Another automotive mark not long for this world. April 1939. Salvation Army, San Francisco, California. Unemployed young men pause a moment to loiter and watch, and then pass on. Downtown Honey Grove, Pennsylvania shivers on a snowy day, pre-1952. My grandfather's grocery was apparently getting a delivery. Our 1967 vacation. Ironically, now that the big chain stores seen in my slide are long gone, the city's plan to revitalize the area by reintroducing traffic onto Fulton Street is underway. (1943) Marin County, California. Coffee and cakes taste pretty good to these San Quentin prisoners who have just given blood to the Red Cross mobile unit. Another look at the fading Atlantic City from my grandfather's family trip in 1964. San Francisco, April 14, 1934. East Side looking south, Montgomery Street commercial buildings. Golden Gate International Exposition, Treasure Island, San Francisco, 1940. May 1942. In the parade of the Festival of the Holy Ghost, a Portuguese-American celebration. Novato, California. Old Mrs. Lawson ran the show at the one-room school in Honey Grove, Pennsylvania, 1958. My grandfather photographed the Atlantic City boardwalk on a family trip in 1964. My brother snapped this 35mm Kodak Tri-X negative as a former high school classmate fled, took it on the lam, from this newsstand at 1241 4th Street in San Rafael, California. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Charming Christine Stone, 1980s. Judy Landers is an American film and television actress, 1982. Sybil Dunning, Austrian actress, movie director, stunning photo shoot, 1969. October 9th, 65. New York World's Fair. Young red-headed son of Mr. John Semenya of Yonkers, New York. (1960) Plymouth Belvedere hardtop on Boston Street, 1964, along with a going 1959 Chevrolet wagon. Boston, 1963. Records for sale in Hi-Fi store, where the Fi goes at least as high as Blaupunkt multiplex stereo. Chrysler Pavilion under construction, New York World's Fair, 1964. New York, 1961. Mayoral campaign car with loudspeakers. Sherry Biltmore Fire, Boston, 1963. Aftermath of the 5-alarm blaze that killed 4 on March 29, 1963. San Francisco circa 1919. Columbia 6 touring car. Note the rakishly tilted windshield. (1964) New York State Pavilion, New York World's Fair. The mezzanine tour looks just about our speed. From a newspaper morgue somewhere in California comes this undated medium format mid-century negative with the sketchy notation. Oakland Service Station. Who can help us to fill in the blanks? Circa 1910. Columbus, Ohio, from Great Southern Hotel. Photobombed by the mail pouch tobacco horse. Tropical greenery notwithstanding, this isn't Bora Bora, Anaheim, or even Orlando. 1965, Monorail Station, New York World's Fair, Flushing Meadows, is the caption. This Australian 1959 Ford Fairlane 500 is a close relative to the Yank tank. The Victoria license plate GZT 500 matches the model number nicely. June 7, 1957. Exterior scenes in St. George, Utah. Local residents being interviewed about their feelings on nuclear testing. October 11, 1961. New York Civil Defense Commission Family Shelter Display. Man and woman at stove cooking. Somewhere in America circa 1954, and it seems to be a big day for Junior. Maybe he just got his driver's license, or his first car, or figured out how to open the door. From the mid-1950s, somewhere in the US of A, come these two boys arguing about who's hotter. Feel free to improvise your own caption in the comments. San Francisco circa 1920. Franklin Auto at Franklin Motor Car Company. Note the Yellowstone Park sticker. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1951. Military funeral. One in a series of photos showing a quartet of flag-draped caskets. Georgia historians, please fill in the blanks. Judy Wangle, is all it says here. Who knew Judy? San Francisco, 1930. Essex Super 6 climbing Webster Street Hill. Elgin, Illinois, circa 1956. Pony eating cake at birthday party. It's a living. Circa 1958. Plymouth meets Peaches in the first of a series of car crash photos taken in and around Oakland, California. Oakland, California, circa 1957. Collision aerial. Aftermath of a crash between a Kaiser sedan and a 1957 Chevy Coupe. Reno, Nevada in the summer of 1972. This is another Kodachrome slide from a small trove we recently found at my friend's house. This time you'll look in vain for me in funny clothes, because I wasn't along on this trip. Oakland, California, circa 1959. Garbage truck accident. With lots of vintage unsorted refuse destined for the landfill or incinerator. Or, in this case, your front lawn. Charming Raquel Welch was an American actress and sex symbol of the 1970s. Photo 1973. Circa 1908. Wood Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A good look at the street rail infrastructure in place 115 years ago. Oakland, California, circa 1958. Another look at the motor mashup seen here yesterday. August 1941. Cowboy in the Corral at Quarter Circle U, Brewster Arnold Ranch Company. Bernie, Montana. From somewhere around Columbus, Georgia, circa 1957 comes this unidentified lady on a Schwinn, pre-spandex. Circa 1903. Unloading fish at T Wharf, Boston, Massachusetts. San Francisco circa 1926. Alice Joyce and Beau Geste Locomobile. Evidently promoting the film. Oakland, California, circa 1958. Our third look at the collision between a Plymouth sedan and GMC tractor. November 1942. Track crews repairing tracks in the roundhouse at the Illinois Central Rail Yard, Chicago. Columbus, Georgia, in 1951. Mrs. Luther Wolf and her brood of squirrels. Nuts will make your children strong. San Francisco, 1920. Moon touring car and tire chains in Golden Gate Park. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1960. Municipal pool. Oakland, California, circa 1958. Wrecked autocar reefer. August 1941. Cowba and horse at the Quarter Circle U, Brewster Arnold Ranch Company. Bernie, Montana. Circa 1903. Fishing schooner at T Wharf, Boston, with ice at the ready. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1959. Swim camp. Boys at park. Making a break from the bus. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1953. Snow's Laundry. With plenty of free parking for your car, bike, or wagon. San Francisco, circa 1925. Nash Special 6 two-door sedan. Equipped with full balloon tires, 5-disc wheels, 4-wheel brakes, Duco finish, mohair upholstery. From circa 1960 comes this uncaptioned news archive photo of a family whose reading would seem to favor religious and inspirational titles, chief among them the Bible and Mother's Lap. (1908) Spalding Hotel, Duluth, Minnesota. Next door to the more intimate Hotel Windsor. Oakland, California, circa 1955. Wrecked Buick. A 1953 super convertible. Long before airbags, there were collapsible steering columns and dish steering wheels. And before that, there was this. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Heather Thomas, beautiful American actress, 1978.